as we were preparing for the birth of Isaac, we were just so hopeful for things to go so smooth, and just all the ideals that it would just be a time to soak the time in as a family and to enjoy it and to embrace it. And that's not really how it went.
When Isaac was 3 weeks old, he got his first fever, and it wasn't high. It was, I think, 100.7, but in a newborn, anything over 100.4, they recommend getting seen right away. So we called our on-call doctor, and they told us to go to the ER. That was at like 8 o'clock in the evening. I think we went, loaded up both boys, went to the ER. And that was hard. They had to do a blood draw and do some testing. And we were there for probably 4 hours. But at the conclusion of that, the ER doctor said he probably has a virus, big brother's sick, he has something. We're going to put him on an antibiotic. He'll be fine. Went to bed that night, and 30 minutes later, woke up to a voicemail from the ER.
Hi, this is Elisa. I'm a nurse in the ECR. I'm just calling about some important results. We need to get in touch with you as soon as possible. If you could call back at 4.
The moment you left the door and got in the car and were heading to the hospital, it was just silence in the house. Henry's asleep. And I just felt this blank void, like the bottom fell out in life. Like, I have no idea what's coming, but this is not good.
The doctor came back in and said Isaac has a urinary tract infection, but the type that he has is resistant to most antibiotics, and he needs to be on an IV antibiotic for 14 days here in the hospital. I think the grief in that of, 3 weeks postpartum, I'm still trying to heal myself. I'm going to be in a hospital with our son. What about my other son that's at home, who's 2? How do we care for both of them? How are we going to do this? And the flurry of those couple of days, it was a lot. They had to do a spinal tap on him to make sure he didn't have meningitis, that it didn't spread somewhere else. They had to do an ultrasound of his kidneys. They put a PICC line in because his IV kept failing. So he had to go under for that, to have a PICC line in, and just his little body being put through so much in such a short time of his life.
So backing up 2 weeks before we're sitting in the hospital, we were actually sitting at church, and it was our first weekend bringing Isaac. And Brian was preaching over the Faith Hall of Fame in Hebrews, and it was the Abraham and Isaac story.
What would be the thing in your life that would be the most difficult of all to surrender to God? We just sang, I surrender all. So what does all mean for you?
Sitting in the ER room, not knowing what we're going to find out, but knowing that it's so serious that we could lose him. I remember it was like God was giving me a bit of reason to trust him, a little glimpse of, I'm still here, I'm still in this, even though this next chapter is just crazy and terrifying and really scary.
Bye, Daddy. Bye, Baby.
Looking back, probably one of the sweetest things that happened was just the way that God provided through his people. We're just so grateful for our church, for our life group, for people that know us and reached out to us. There was someone on staff who visited us in the hospital every single day. We had our life group come in the evening. I had several of the girls in our life group that came and just sat with me while I was there. Financially, people gave to us. Yeah. I don't think we cooked a meal for 8 weeks from the time he was born until that 8-week time, because we were just showered with meals and gift cards and just really tangible expressions of love for us.
Yeah.
Opal, who are we taking food to? Megan? And who else? Isaac? Yeah. Hi, Henry! Hello! Oh, you brought some snacks? Oh.
You know, we went back to the ER many times after that because of more complications and his temperature and just symptoms that we were seeing. Yeah. Ultimately, we're not out of the woods with any of this, but what God's shown us is that he's faithful.
We are back in the hospital with Isaac, this time with RSV, and feels a little bit surreal, spending time going to the ER again, being there, and then back up on the same floor when we were here last time. He's doing well, and I'm so grateful for that, and I'm grateful that we'll get to go home soon, but there's still a lot of emotions.
I think I reflect on hope in this time, being in the Christmas season, reflecting on Jesus as the light coming into the world to redeem, and God choosing to use our friends and our church and the people around us to encourage us.
Yeah, this Christmas, I'm so thankful for just the way that God's working in my own heart. I think slowly helped me release control to him, which is hard, but that he himself has promised that he'll carry those burdens, that he'll carry that heavy load, that we can trust him with that.